What is up? It is episode 10 of the Omaha Dreams podcast, hosted by
Brendan Young, career 300 high school hitter, 0-star baseball recruit, and the all-time leader in Little League walks. Eyes like a hawk, but he ain't built like one Connor Heilman.
So today I'm wearing my cheer shirt because I want to shout out our listeners. The Cheers saying is a place where everybody knows your name, and you guys know our name, so I appreciate you.
Was that your joke?
Yeah. Do you like it?
No.
Well, I also want to give us a shout out because we made it to episode 10. I feel like we've personally come pretty far.
we enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, we enjoyed a lot. We've gotten better, I think.
Mm-hmm. Learned a lot about college baseball.
Yeah, and I think that's
had a few different number ones.
Yeah, that was our big goal, though, to learn about college baseball and to kind of teach anyone we bring with us about college baseball. And I think we've grown to love the sport even more.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into it. We're going to start with social media madness today. Then we're going to move to weekend recap for week 6. We're going to have our top weekend performers, top 25 movement. This is the craziest week of movement we've had so far.
There was one team that stayed in the same spot?
3, I think.
Because
we'll have to look at. Yeah. But then we're going to move to midweek preview for week 7. So social media madness. There's one that we'll talk about later. But I'm going to mention this one now. We retweeted it on our Twitter. Virginia's Casey Saki had a sliding catch and throw out to first base to end the inning in the bottom of the 8th. Insane catch and throw. Beautiful little slide. Grabbed it right on like the foul ball line, and perfect on the dime throw to first base to get the guy out.
Yeah, I got a social media post too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be Will Smith hitting a home run. Will Smith hitting a home run on
Chris Rock's
face.
Yeah.
He teed off on him.
Yeah, he definitely did. It's messed up. All right. Well, weekend recap for week 6. We're going to start here. 5 Tennessee at 1 Ole Miss. I had Tennessee 2 out of 3. I think you did as well.
No, I took Ole Miss.
Did you?
Yeah, because I going into it, I love Tennessee, obviously. I've been high on them for a while. And you took Tennessee first, and I was like, You know what? Screw it. I'll just go with Ole Miss because I thought it was going to be more competitive than what it was.
Yeah.
It ended up being a sweep by Tennessee.
They extend that win streak to 15.
Yeah,
that's
impressive.
Gross.
They're sitting at what? 23-1 on the year?
Yep. So Friday, Tennessee wins this one 12-1. Tennessee had a huge 6-run second and handled this game.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee out-hits Ole Miss 9-3 in this one.
I think big storyline out of this game is Tennessee's starter, Chase Burns, going 7 innings.
Yep.
Allowing 2 hits, 1 earned run, and striking out 11. So
yeah, gets his 5th win of the season.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out left fielder Jared Dickey. He went 2 for 4 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs.
Little Dickey.
Saturday, Tennessee wins this one 10-3. They out-hit Ole Miss again in this one 17-5. Another solid pitching performance by the starter. Chase Dollander went 6.1 innings pitched, allowed 0 earned on 3 hits, 1 walk. Gets 10 Ks to earn his 4th win of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Tennessee offense in that 17-hit onslaught, they have 6 doubles and 5 stolen bases. So they were, pushing the envelope pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, one of those guys with some stolen bases was Seth Stevenson. He went 2 for 4 with 1 double. He had 2 RBIs and 2 stolen bases on the game. So
yeah, Drew Gilbert also and Trey Lipscombe, they both go 3 for 5 with 2 ribbies.
Yeah.
And Gilbert has a pair of doubles. Also, these 2 games, Tennessee in the Friday night matchup, they have 2 errors. And then on Saturday, they have 3 errors. But it seems like their pitchers kind of didn't care.
Yeah.
They just bailed out the defense pretty much.
Yeah. Sunday, Tennessee wins a close one, 4-3. Tennessee had the lead here throughout most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss gets a 3-run home run from Hayden Dunhurst. He would cut the lead to 1, but Redmond Walsh would come in for 1.1 innings pitched. He would strike out 5 of what? Or was that all? How did he get 5?
He threw what? 2 innings?
He threw 1.1, so that's 4 outs. So there must have been some shenanigans happening.
Yeah, something weird.
Yeah, but he closes out this game, gets the 3rd save of the season for the and the win for the Vols. Another solid starting performance by Drew Beam. He goes 7 1/3, allows 1 earned run on 3 hits with 6 Ks to earn his 5th win of the season as well. Over the course of this weekend, this Tennessee pitching staff only gives up 2 walks.
Mm-hmm. That's huge.
That's insane.
That's not allowing any unneeded base runners, not giving up any mistakes.
Yeah. My player to watch, who's going to be my star of the weekend, was Tennessee third baseman Trey Lipscombe. He went 4 for 12, which is a .333 average. He had 2 walks, a homer, and 6 RBIs. So pretty solid weekend by Lipscombe again.
Yeah, my player to watch was that pitcher. I keep slipping on his name, but he threw like 2/3 of an inning. So
okay. Oh yeah. Oh, it's gonna drive me insane. I had Chase Burns as my pitcher to watch, so he had a solid first day.
Probably the best start out of all those pitchers.
Yeah. Next series we have is 2 Texas at 16 Texas Tech. I had Texas 2 out of 3 here. What'd you have?
Yeah, I had Texas 2 out of 3 as well, but they end up not getting it done.
No.
Off of 2 Friday night, probably one of the craziest plays I've ever seen.
Yeah, so
Saturday was also a crazy way to end the game.
Yeah. So Friday, Texas Tech wins this one 5-4, right? Texas Tech would have a 3-1 lead going into the 7th. Ivan Melendez, the Cuban Missile, right?
Yeah.
He hits a homer to right to cut the lead to 3-2. In the top of the 8th, the Longhorns would get 2 more solo home runs from Trey Faltini and Skylar Mensinger to give them the 4-3 lead.
The 9th is where it starts to get a little crazy.
When the bottom of the 8th, the Red Raiders would rally and get a run home on a fielder's choice.
Mm-hmm.
So
I meant the 10th inning.
Yeah. Fast forward to the bottom of the 10th, where Kurt Wilson would make the most electric play of the season by stealing a home plate and stealing the win away from the Longhorns.
Yeah, so he walks to start the inning. I'm pretty sure he doesn't get a hit this whole day.
Mm-hmm.
He walks to start the inning. Another walk moves him to second. A sacrifice bunt moves him to third, and then while the pitcher is coming set from the stretch, he's like
times it perfectly.
He just sends it.
Yeah.
Full sends, steals home. Dude, that's one of the craziest plays I've ever seen in my life.
The aftermath where he just throws the helmet and he's just strutting away. It's just it's an crazy, that's the other social media post we were talking about. Like watching that like back and back and back and back. Like I watched it. It gets sweeter and sweeter each time.
Especially because it's, in-state rival.
Mm-hmm.
Conference rival,
yep.
And then you have a number 16 team in Texas Tech taking down the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah,
at home on a Friday night.
Yep,
it was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun for sure.
Crazy part about this: Texas out-hit Texas Tech in this one, 11-3. They also had 1 more walk. I think it was like 5 walks, and Texas Tech maybe had 4.
Could you imagine out-hitting a team 11-3 and still losing?
They
only had 3 hits.
It's got to be so dejecting. Well, Saturday, Texas Tech wins this one 16-12, so a little bit more firepower in this one. The Red Raiders would jump out to a 7-2 lead in the first. Texas Tech would get 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 7th, and 4 in the top of the 8th to take a 11-7 lead. Texas Tech would get 4 back in the bottom half of the inning to tie the game up. Fast forward to the top of the 10th, where Texas would take a 1-run lead from an RBI double from Douglas Hodo III. But
Douglas Hodo III.
Yeah. But in the bottom half of the inning, the Red Raiders would tie the game up again with a fielder's choice.
Yeah.
And guess who the hero would be?
Kurt Wilson again. He hits a walk-off grand slam to win the game. So Friday night, he walks it off with a stolen base and then hits a walk-off grand slam on Saturday to take another one from Texas.
And guess what? Texas out-hits the Red Raiders in this one too, 21-13.
Mm-hmm. It's just rough.
It's rough for the Longhorns. Now Sunday, Texas will go on to win this one 12-1 in 7 innings. Texas would be up 5-1 going into the 7th. They would get 7 in the top of the 7th to put the game out of the reach. And then they out-hit the Red Raiders again 17-6 in this one.
What do you think like has been up with Texas recently?
I don't know. They got something going on. I can't tell what it is. It's because their pitching isn't bad.
Yeah, their pitching has been, pretty good.
And
I'd say most days.
Their hitting has been fine.
I think their offense can be streaky. I think that's why they're struggling a little bit because like they'll have games where they put up 16 or 12 runs.
Yeah.
And then other games where they put up 4 or 1 or something like that. I feel like that's why they're losing a lot of those.
Yeah, I can see that because their fielding doesn't seem to be a problem either. It seems like they're just kind of, like you said, not putting the runs together.
Mm-hmm. It's basically just the Cuban Missile, like hitting home runs, and that's basically
he
all they have right now.
He has a lot of their runs. So my player for the series has to be Kurt Wilson, right?
Mm-hmm.
His stat line does not blow you away.
Yeah, I was thinking about, because obviously what happened, I was thinking about using him as my top performer of the weekend, but I was like, there were more impressive weekends.
Yeah, I mean, he goes 2 for 10 with 3 walks. He has the grand slam, the stolen base, so he has 2 walk-off wins. So that's why he's the player of the series.
Mm-hmm.
But
other than that, he wasn't very impressive.
No, but he was impressive enough to get 2 wins for the Red Raiders and take this series. So
yeah.
Next game we got is 21 LSU at 8 Florida. I had the Florida sweep.
I had Florida 2-1.
LSU takes this 2 out of 3.
The sweep was a little ballsy.
It was ballsy.
I have a sweep later in our weekend preview, which didn't go as well either. But Friday night, Florida wins this one 7-2. I think the storyline of this game isn't really the Florida offense, which I mean they put up 7 runs. But I think the storyline is Hunter Barco, who has another dominant start. He goes 7 innings, only allows 2 hits, strikes out 11, and doesn't give up any runs. So
yeah, he gets his 5th win of the season on this one.
Yeah, he's having a great year right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Saturday, LSU wins this one 16-4. LSU was handling this game 9-4. They get 6 runs in the 3rd, going into the 9th. In the top of the 9th, they get 7 more to just bury the Gators.
Yeah, the Gator pitching. Well, I'll start out with LSU. They have 9 extra base hits in this one, which fuels them to 16 runs.
Yeah, they out-hit Florida 13-5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brayden Jobert, he goes 3 for 4 with 4 ribbies and a homer in this one. Gator pitching does not look good at all in this one.
No, they give up 7 walks.
Yeah, they kind of have that pendulum swing of Barco Friday night and then this happening on Saturday night.
Yeah.
They used 6 pitchers. It just wasn't a good look for them.
Yeah. Sunday, LSU is going to win this one as well, take the series. They win it 11-2. LSU would get 4 in the 4th and 7th in the 6th. 2 huge innings would be enough to take the Gators in this one. They out-hit Florida again, 12-5. Brayden Jobert, another great day, goes 2 for 5, 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. And then I want to shout out Grant Taylor. He actually comes in relief, but he would go 5 1/3, allowing 2 earned runs on 4 hits, 2 walks with 6 Ks to hold it down for the Tigers and pick up his 2nd win of the season.
Yeah, hopefully their other pitcher, Samuel Dutton, also had a good game as well. He went like 3 and whatever.
Yeah, like 3
1/3 or 3 2/3.
3 2/3.
But yeah, I think that's a good momentum builder for LSU winning those final 2 games of the series.
Yeah, absolutely. My hitter of the series was Braden Jobert. He had a huge series. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you have to pick him.
Yeah, he racked up 3 home runs, and he only played in 2 games. He didn't play in the first game. So
my player was Blake Money, who had a crapshoot of a game on Friday night.
Yeah.
But
next series we got is 22 Maryland at Dallas Baptist. I took Maryland 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I took Dallas Baptist 2 out of 3. So
well, you were right.
That's my first correct pick of the week.
Friday, Dallas Baptist.
My first and only correct pick of the week.
Friday, Dallas Baptist wins this one 8-3. They out-hit Maryland 12-5. Jacob Meter, who I mentioned, He would go 6 innings pitched, allowed 2 earned runs on 3 hits, 3 walks, 6 Ks to pick up his 5th win of the season.
Yeah, Blaine Joyce in this one. He goes 3 for 5 with a homer and a double, so he had a solid day. Saturday, the Terrapins win 11-5. They tie the series back up in game 2. Maryland surprisingly out-hits Dallas Baptist 17-5 in this one, which is a pretty big gap. Chris Allien, he goes 3 for 6 with a homer and a double. Matt Shaw also hits a double and a homer. Dallas Baptist, they score 4 runs in the last 2 innings, so this one was a pretty dominant victory by Maryland.
Ryan Ramsey, Maryland's pitcher, he would go 7. He only allowed 1 earned run on 3 hits, 4 walks. He only had 3 Ks, but it was good enough to get him his 6th win of the season. So he's having a very good season.
Yeah, but that's going to be the only win for Maryland as Dallas Baptist wins the rubber match on Sunday afternoon. They win 5-2. This is another great day for Dallas Baptist pitching staff. They use 4 guys in this one. Ryan Johnson, Bubba Hall, Alec Baker, and Chandler Arnold. They hold Maryland to only 2 runs.
Yeah, Chandler Arnold would come in to close it out, get his 4th save of the season. My player to watch was Dallas Baptist left fielder Jace Grady. He would go 7 for 14 with 3 RBIs, so nothing too crazy, but he was getting on base.
Yeah, my player for Maryland was Chris Allien. I know he had a good game on Saturday. I forgot to see, how he did in those other games. But
yeah. Next, go ahead.
So I feel like Dallas Baptist's schedule is pretty much downhill from this point. You think
I think they're going to start going on a run.
You think they'll end the season in the top 25?
Yeah.
You think it'll be higher than where they're at right now?
Yeah.
All right.
I could see them being top 10.
Top 10?
Yeah, not top 5. I think they'll be somewhere between
like 12 and
9. 8 to 12 maybe. So maybe not top 10, but like right on the fringe.
Gotcha.
So next series we got is UCLA at 11 Arizona. I took the upset. I took the Bruins 2 out of 3.
I took Arizona sweep.
Yep. The Bruins take 2 out of 3. Friday, UCLA wins this one 10-2. The Bruins get 2 huge innings in the 6th and 9th, scoring 4 runs in each. In the 6th, my player to watch, Cody Schreier, hits a grand salami. Schreier would finish this game with 5 RBIs, half the runs. Arizona also had 4 errors in this game. I think that kind of killed him here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said. I mean, 6 of UCLA's runs are unearned. I mean, that obviously doesn't mean anything because the final score, Arizona only scores 2 runs.
Yeah.
But, I mean, mental errors is probably the biggest reason why they lose this game.
Yeah. Saturday, Arizona will bounce back. They win this one 4-2. They out-hit UCLA 11-5. And Arizona pitchers were pretty dominant.
Yeah, Garrett Irvin, he goes 7 2/3, gives up 1 run on 3 hits. And also All-American catcher Daniel Susak, he goes 3 for 5 and a homer shy of the cycle. So
nice. Sunday, UCLA will bounce back, take the rubber match. They win this one 7-3. Thatcher Hurd, my guy, goes 6 innings pitched, allows 1 earned run on 2 hits, a walk. He gets 4 Ks, and he gets his 2nd win this season. Now, this was a tough series for Arizona, but they did have one highlight. They slowed down UCLA on the base pass. They had the Bruins had no steals this weekend, so UCLA had like 43 steals. I want to say something like that, something around that. So to slow them down with base pass, you gotta take that as a win.
That's, I think, a testament to Daniel Susak, their catcher. He's one of the best catchers in the country.
Yeah.
Arizona, I feel like at sometimes this season they've looked like really good.
Yeah.
And then other times they've looked like horrible.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know.
They gotta just start stringing some stuff together, I think.
Yeah, they need to.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason that's happening is because their head coach is in his first year there.
Yeah.
But I think towards the end of the year, I think they'll be able to figure it out and keep it rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. My hitter of the weekend, I was gonna go with Cody Schreier, but he didn't have a great performance other than Friday. He would go 1 for 13. So instead, I'm going to take center fielder Malachi Knight. He would go 5 for 15. He had a walk and 2 RBIs, but 333 average over the course of the weekend. It's pretty solid. So.
How'd your honorable mention games go?
All right. So the first one I had was 10 Virginia at Wake Forest. I had Virginia taking 2 out of 3. They took 2 out of 3. So that one was spot on. My next one was 17 Georgia at Kentucky. I had the Bulldogs sweep. The Wildcats would take this one 2 out of 3 at home.
I was surprised when you said you haven't been really impressed by Kentucky this year, but they have some good wins.
Yeah.
They beat Georgia this week. They beat TCU this year.
Yeah, I think Georgia was just coming off a hot weekend, and I just didn't think Kentucky was going to be able to compete. Mm-hmm. And they did more than compete. They took this series. Mm-hmm. So my last one was 13 UNC at Miami. I had UNC taking 2 out of 3. I was kind of unsure. I thought maybe Miami would take it. Well, Miami took it with the sweep. Yeah. The third game of the set would go into 14 innings before Renzo Gonzalez would get an RBI single to walk it off for the Hurricanes. So Miami with a huge weekend here, and they've been stringing together these past few weeks. So how about you? How'd your honorable mentions go?
I had USC at Oregon. I picked Oregon. They win 2-1. I mentioned that, I've mentioned this 2 episodes ago that if they have another hot week, they could end up in the top 25. Mm-hmm. And
they might.
They do. I mean, we'll tell you exactly where they enter the top 25 at, but
they do.
Yeah, they had a great week. They beat USC, who's a good team out of the Pac-12, in their conference. The next game I had was number 23 Gonzaga at BYU. I took Gonzaga. I didn't think BYU had what it took.
Yeah.
They haven't really showed anything that impressive this year. So, which is what ended up happening. Gonzaga won 2-1. And then I took Coastal Carolina over number 20 Texas State. But Texas State ends up winning this series 2-1.
Yeah.
And then I guess we'll move into top performers then.
Yeah, do you want me to start?
I can start.
Okay.
So I have Jake Gary.
Gary.
Yeah, senior catcher from Yale.
Okay, we're doing hitters first. Yeah, I had him as well.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go first because I knew you were going to have him.
Yeah.
Honestly, this was basically only for his Sunday performance.
Yeah, he went 1-7 over the first 2 days.
Yeah, but Sunday he goes 4 for 5 with 4 homers and 11 RBIs. 2 of those home runs were grand slams, which is probably the most impressive part. And those 4 home runs that he has sets an Ivy League record for home runs in a game.
Yeah. All right. Well, since you took him, I still have 2 other guys. I'll mention this guy first. We already talked about him. Braden Jobert. He played in 2 games, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Solid weekend performance for him. My other guys or group of guys is going to be our Campbell Camels, who we love. They win 36-4 on Sunday. The Camels hit 10 home runs in this game. These 2 dudes were studs. Third baseman Jared Belbin went 4 for 7 with a walk. He had 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. 2 of those home runs were grand salamis. And then catcher Grant Knipp went 5 for 6, 2 home runs and 9 RBIs. He also had a grand slam.
I had those guys as a backup.
Yeah.
So.
All right. What about your pitcher?
I went all hitters this week.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I took Ivan Melendez, the Cuban Missile.
Yeah, he had a good weekend, even though they couldn't pull off the win.
Yeah, he goes 9 for 12, 3 homers, 4 RBIs, a double, and 4 walks. He doesn't record an out on Friday and Saturday. He goes 8 for 8 through his first 2 games, and 2 of his 3 home runs come on Saturday. So he had a monster weekend. He's been having a great year so far.
Okay. Well, I kind of have 2 pitching staffs.
Mm-hmm.
My first guy is going to be Chase Burns, who we already talked about, but I do want to shout out the whole volunteer pitching staff over the course of the weekend. They did a great job shutting down the number 1 team in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
They only gave up 7 runs on 2 walks, 15 hits, and they had 40 Ks.
Yeah. Tennessee was just unreal this weekend.
They came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Showed up and showed out.
You don't have another hitter then?
No, I do.
Okay, go ahead, and then I'll finish up.
Ben Mensinger.
Louisville.
Yep.
Yep.
Louisville, third baseman. He goes 7 for 14. Hits a homer, a double, has 5 RBIs, 3 stolen base, and 2 walks. He's been huge at the top of that Cardinal order.
Yeah.
getting on base, stealing bags.
Yeah, he's been a huge part of their success.
Mm-hmm.
My last group of pitchers were Central Arkansas pitchers. They played Lipscombe this weekend. They took 2 out of 3. And these 2 guys were important in the Friday-Saturday win. So Friday, they win this game 2-0. Tyler Cleveland would go 9 innings, allowed 0 earned on 2 hits. He had 8 Ks to pick up his first win of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Then Saturday, they win this game 6-0. Jesse Barker goes 9 innings, allowed 0 earned runs on 2 hits, 1 walk, 7 Ks to pick up his second win of the season. So those 2 guys went 18 innings over the course of 2 days, 2 complete games, which is
and how many runs?
0.
0.
0 runs. So they were pretty dominant.
Yeah.
All right, top 25 movement. This is as crazy as we've seen since we started doing this.
Yeah.
We're gonna start with the top 5. There is a new number 1.
Like we said, if they sweep Ole Miss, there's no chance that they're not number 1.
Yeah.
We didn't think it was gonna happen, but
it happened.
It happened.
Tennessee is 23-1. They go 4-0 last week. They beat Butler on Tuesday, and then they sweep the number 1 team at the time, Ole Miss.
Yeah. Tennessee's looked ridiculous so far.
Yeah. I think typically we have this conversation, who do we think should be number 1? I don't think there's a question right now. This should be the number 1 team in the nation, and they are.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Number 2 is Arkansas. They're 18-4. They move up 1 spot. They go 2-1 this past week, taking 2 out of 3 from Missouri.
The Oregon State is going to jump from number 6 to number 3. They took 2 of 3 against Cal this past weekend, and they beat Seattle on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We can talk about it later.
Yeah. Virginia is number 4. They take a huge jump. They were at number 10, so they move up 6 spots. They go 3-1 last week. They beat Towson on Tuesday. Then they take 2 out of 3 from a very good Wake Forest team.
Mm-hmm. Next team we have rounding out the top 5 is going to be Florida State. They take a series against the Blue Devils this past weekend, the Duke Blue Devils.
So you obviously don't think Oregon State should be in the top 5.
No.
I don't either. Who would you replace them with? So let's say Virginia and Florida State move up 1. So who would you put at number 5?
I could see Texas Tech. I could see Vanderbilt. I still think Vanderbilt is very good.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, like they're still one of the best teams in the country, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even though they just lost to Tennessee, I don't know how they dropped back to.
Well, we'll talk about it here. I don't know. I agree with you. I don't think Oregon State should be number 3. I think that's way too high. I think Texas Tech, they had a huge jump. I think that's the thing. Maybe Oklahoma State, they go 4-0 last week.
Mm-hmm.
So Oklahoma State is now number 6. They were at 9. They beat Oral Roberts on Wednesday. They sweep Kansas. So
yeah, Oregon State, their resume just doesn't really impress me at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. It's just out of dumb luck. I feel like that they're at number 3.
Yeah. I think once we get deeper into Pac-12 play, we'll figure out what Oregon State is for sure. Also,
Virginia could easily be number 3.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's to be said. I think Oregon State is a loss away from moving down, and Virginia, I think if they go at least 3-1 this week, I think they could be number 3 by the end of next week. But number 7 is Texas Tech. They're 20-5. They make a huge jump. They were at 16. They go 3-1 this last week, beat Cal Baptist on Tuesday, take 2 out of 3 from Texas. So huge weekend for them. And then Texas is going to drop to number 8. They're 19-7 now. They dropped 6 spots.
Yeah, they've had a rough couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the number 1 team for a long time, and they've been dropping a few games.
Yeah.
Next team is going to be Vanderbilt at number 9. They issue in their new logo and immediately drop 5 spots.
Yeah. Yeah, they beat Belmont on Tuesday, but then they lose 2 out of 3 to South Carolina. So
yeah, and I think the Tennessee sweep of South Carolina is really looking more impressive after the Gamecocks have taking down Vanderbilt, taking down Texas. Vanderbilt's resume is just almost flawless besides that one loss they had to Texas.
Tennessee, you mean?
What did I say, Texas?
Vanderbilt.
I meant Tennessee.
I know. That's all right. All right. Well, 10 Ole Miss, they drop like a rock.
Yeah.
They're 16-7 now. Their only win this past week comes against Memphis. And then Big Brother Tennessee says, you don't do that to them. And they beat the crap out of them. So number 11 is going to be Louisville. They're 19-5. They jump up 7 spots from 18. They go 3-1 this past week. They lose to Lipscombe on Tuesday, but then they turn it back around. They Boston College. I think Boston College is one of the worst teams probably in the ACC. So they had a prime opportunity to turn around, and they did. Mm-hmm. So
next team we have is Louisville.
You mean TCU?
Yeah.
Number 12 TCU.
TCU, they jump from number 19 to number 12.
Yep.
They sweep Kansas State. Not really too much to say about that.
Yeah.
LSU is going to slot in at number 13. They bounce back after their rough loss last weekend. They take their series against Florida.
Yeah, Florida drops to 14. They were at 8. I was surprised by LSU winning this series. I know we should have probably talked about it more earlier, but they lose to Louisiana Tech on Wednesday. And I feel like Florida they had a prime opportunity to take that series, and they couldn't.
Well, they won. Florida wins the first game of the series and then can't get anything after that.
Yeah, so I think LSU shows a lot of grit and toughness here. And
they felt the fire underneath them, and they were like, hey,
yeah,
we're sitting at number 21 right now. If we
lose a series, we might be out of the top 25.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen for a blue blood like that.
Yeah. 15 Arizona, they're 17-7. They fall from number 11. They go 2-3 over this past week. They beat Stanford on Monday to finish that sweep. And then it gets rough. They get upset by New Mexico on Wednesday, and then they get upset this weekend by UCLA, losing 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona's been looking pretty brutal the past couple weekends at least. Well, the past week at least. They have that really big win against Stanford, and they were winning 6 straight going into that New Mexico game, and then they get upset by New Mexico, and now things are kind of like,
it just sets them off course.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think they'll be able to right the ship, or is this just going to be more of a storm to come for the Wildcats?
I feel like it's either going to be what they're doing right now, is in like we beat good teams,
mm-hmm.
and then lose games we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be, we're winning all the time. Yeah. I don't think it's going to get much worse for Arizona.
Yeah. Well, next team is 16 Notre Dame. They're 12-5. They dropped 4 spots. They only had 1 game. 3 games canceled this past week.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't move up or stay still when you have 1 game and you lose it.
Yeah.
So they lose to Virginia Tech. I don't know. Notre Dame's whole schedule's kind of been like weird and wacky. Yet another week of weird and wacky stuff for them. So we'll see what Notre Dame ends up being here coming in the upcoming weeks. But
next team we got is going to be Miami. They jump back into the rankings at number 17.
Yeah, 17-6 on the season now.
Yep, they just swept UNC. I think we definitely mentioned that earlier.
Yep.
They enter back into the rankings for the first time since week 3.
Yeah.
And then UNC is going to drop from number 13 to 18.
Yeah.
So Miami's been looking good the past few weeks.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Ever since that Florida loss, they've been building back up.
Yeah. Dallas Baptist re-enters the top 25 at 19. They go 3-1 this past week. They beat UT Arlington on Tuesday, and then they take 2 out of 3 from Maryland, which is the story here. I think, like we said earlier, Dallas Baptist can start rolling here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be easier for them now. I mean, they played some pretty incredible opponents so far this year.
Yeah.
They've easily had the hardest schedule in college baseball this year. So
next team is 21 Oregon. They're 16-7. They were unranked. Huge week. They go 3-1 last week. They beat Gonzaga, take 2 out of 3 from USC, who's a very good Pac-12 or Pac-10, Pac-12. Pac-10 was the old school. Man, I'm out of it. But either way, huge week for them. They're in the top 25 now.
They have San Francisco during the week, but then they play UCLA next weekend. So
that's going to be a fun matchup.
Yeah, that'll be a good test.
Yeah. Next team is 22, Georgia Tech. They're 16-9. They drop 8 spots from 14. They go 1-4 this last week. They split that 2-game set with Kennesaw State. And then they get swept by the Wolfpack of NC State. NC State here showing some life still.
Yeah. Georgia Tech, their offense just did not show up this weekend.
Yeah.
And when that doesn't happen,
they're not going to win any games.
No. Yeah. Their pitching staff is average, below average. It's not very good.
Yeah.
Georgia, who they played already this year, is going to drop from number 17 to 23 after they lose their series to Kentucky, which we mentioned a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And then Gonzaga and UConn round out the top 25 in those last 2 spots. Nothing really changes for them.
Yeah.
Gonzaga, I think, dropped 1 spot, but
yeah. Liberty is no longer in the top 25. They're sitting at 15-7. They go 1-3 this past week. They lose a tough one to Wake Forest on Tuesday, and then they lose 2 out of 3 to Stetson.
Yeah, that's a tough loss.
Yeah, I think Liberty needs to bounce back here. I don't know. It might take a little bit for them to get back into the top 25, but I think they can do it. Maryland drops out as well. They're 18-5. They were at number 22. They go 2-2 this past week. They get a win against UMBC on Tuesday. Then they lose 2 out of 3 to Dallas Baptist. So,
and then Clemson is the last team that's going to drop out of the top 25.
Yeah, tough past couple weeks for Clemson.
Yeah, they've had just this past weekend they lose to Pitt, but yeah, they've been losing a lot of games.
Yeah, the weather might have helped them. They lose 2 to Pitt. The last game gets canceled. I don't know. Their only win comes against Winthrop. So Clemson's looking tough here as we're moving into ACC play. It could get real hairy for the Tigers here.
Yeah, especially with there's some good ACC teams.
Yeah.
And there's some good ACC teams that aren't even in the top 25. So
yeah. All right, let's get to our midweek preview for week 7. We're going to start on Tuesday. 5, Florida State.
Let's go back to top 25.
Okay.
Who's your winner of the weekend?
It's got to be Tennessee, right?
Yeah, that's the obvious choice.
Yeah, Tennessee had a huge week, 23-1. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that at this point.
Yeah, give me somebody else besides Tennessee.
Texas Tech, another obvious choice, but I mean they take a huge series against Texas. So, How about you?
I'm gonna say Oregon. I think you've
been high on the Ducks.
Yeah, I think they're trying to make some moves right now with the Pac-12 with the way they're looking.
Yeah.
I think that they enter the top 25. They have a big matchup coming up this week. If they can beat UCLA, who Arizona just lost to, they could, at the end of this upcoming week, they could end up being ranked higher than Arizona.
Yeah, I think that's
depending on how Arizona's weekend goes.
Yeah. Who's your biggest loser then?
I mean, Texas, I feel like is an obvious choice. Ole Miss is also a very obvious choice.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They dropped 4 spots because they played 1 game and lost it.
Yeah, that's tough. I think I'm going to take Georgia Tech here.
Mm-hmm.
There's an obvious problem in their pitching, and it got exposed by NC State.
Yeah.
So,
those really good offenses are going to be able to slug it out with Georgia Tech, and if their offense doesn't show up, then they're not winning a game.
Yeah. All right, let's move to midweek preview now for week 7. Tuesday, we got 5 Florida State versus 14 Florida. This game's going to be held at 121 Financial Park in Jacksonville, home of the Jumbo Shrimp, the AAA affiliate for the Marlins.
Is that what they call you?
Florida State is 16-7. Florida is 17-7. Who do you have taking this?
I'm going with Florida.
Okay.
I think in almost every facet, they're statistically better than Florida State. I know their ERA is lower, but their WHIP and their opponent batting average is lower for the Gators. I think they'll be able to bounce back after losing to LSU.
I'm gonna take Florida State here. I think Florida State's been hot. Florida is 6-4 in their last 10, which kind of scares me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Florida State is just riding a hot hand right now, and I think they can take this one at the neutral site.
They've been beating some good teams.
Yeah.
2 weekends ago they beat Florida State, or not Florida State, Wake Forest.
Yeah. Next matchup we got is 19 Dallas Baptist at Louisiana Tech. Dallas Baptist is 15-8. Louisiana Tech is 18-6. They just come off a sweep of FIU. Who do you have here?
I think despite Louisiana Tech being better in pretty much every statistical category, I think Dallas Baptist they're tested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to fall into those traps that LSU has fallen into twice against Tech at their place.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dallas Baptist is definitely battle tested. I think they'll be able to win the series. Win the game.
I'm taking Louisiana Tech with another midweek upset. The thing with Dallas Baptist is they're 5-4 away right now, so they only have 9 games away. But Louisiana Tech is hot at home. They're 12-2. So I think the Bulldogs are going to be able to handle this one at home.
Yeah, I'm hoping that picking against the Bulldogs isn't going to come back to fight me again like it did last week.
Yeah.
Next game we got is going to be number 6 Oklahoma State versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma State comes into this game 18-6, 3-0 in conference play. Oklahoma is going to be 14-8 and 2-1 in conference play. I think offensively, Oklahoma, the Sooners might have an edge here. Defensively and pitching, Oklahoma State Cowboys definitely have the advantage. This is a neutral site game, right?
Yeah, it's at Oneco Field in Tulsa, the home of the Tulsa Drillers, the AA affiliate for the Dodgers. So,
I think pitching and elite defense is gonna win this one for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm taking Oklahoma State as well.
I think they're definitely the better team. I think Oklahoma kind of stinks.
Next game we got is 15 Arizona at Grand Canyon. Arizona is 17-7. Grand Canyon is 16-9. They just took 2 out of 3 from Sacramento State. Grand Canyon did win the first game 19-3 on February 22nd.
That was like our second episode, I think we talked about them.
Who do you have taking this?
I feel like you're gonna go with Grand Canyon.
I'm not actually.
Really?
I thought about it, but I don't know if Grand Canyon can take the 2-game set piece these teams have. I think Arizona is going to bounce back and get a dub here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough because Arizona was smacked Arizona around that first matchup.
Yeah.
That might have just been because it was Arizona's 4th game of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go with Arizona too. Their offense is better.
Yeah, I wanted to take Grand Canyon. The thing that scares me with them is they're 6-5 at home. They're road warriors.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like playing at home apparently.
Their home stadium is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually toured their college.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin was Lauren, she was going to going there, maybe ASU. So we toured ASU and then we toured GCU.
Yeah.
That campus they have there is beautiful.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what the Lopes can do, but I think we're both going to take the Wildcats.
Yeah, so. I'm going with Arizona.
And then the last game we're going to preview here is on Wednesday. It's 17 Miami at Florida Gulf Coast. Miami is 17-6. Florida Gulf Coast is 18-6. They just took 2 out of 3 from Jacksonville. I'm going to take Miami here.
Yeah, that's definitely the easiest choice. I feel like you really have to convince yourself to pick Florida Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
I couldn't convince myself enough.
Neither could I.
Yeah, I think the Florida Gulf Coast has a great offense.
Mm-hmm.
That might just be because they play a bunch of slouches.
Yeah.
Well, not a bunch of slouches, but they don't play anybody as good as Miami has played so far this year. Miami's defense and pitching is better.
Yeah, they've been hot the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, they've been hot. I think Miami will be able to get it done.
Yeah. All right. Well, that will close it out for today.
Is there anything that you would change in the top 25 besides Oregon State?
Mm. I don't think so. I mean, I think Florida State might be a little high, but other than that, I think it's okay.
That's pretty good.
I think Notre Dame is like a week away from having a bad week and getting knocked out of the top 25. I think at this point in the season, they haven't proved anything to me that shows them being a top 25 team.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So
I wish Louisville was top 10.
Louisville top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, they're right there.
Yeah.
They're a fringe team. I think they're a good week away from being in the top 10 probably.
For sure.
So, all right. Well, make sure to follow us on Spotify. Give us that 5-star rating. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up.
Hit the bell for notifications.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Omaha Dreams Pod. Have a great week, guys.
Also, shout out Amir for another intro.
And
I think he's going to be our
and outro.
Yeah, I think he'll be our consistent intro. Sorry, thank you, Amir.
Yeah,
he'll be our consistent intro and outro.
Yeah,
we want to chop it down a little. Maybe not have a gigantic 3-minute song playing before, but
we're working with some technical difficulties. But either way, shout out to Amir. Great song. Listen to it in full either way.
Yeah, check out the whole album.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, have a great week, guys.
See you guys.